Bună ziua, oameni! Noi astăzi o să ne uităm la 4 videoclipuri de game de Rainbow Friends. Ăsta eu l-am făcut un videoclip, dar nu l-am postat. Deci l-am șters videoul și mâine ați fac un live, deci vă pregătiți.
The main Rainbow Friends are exactly what you would expect. Brightly colored creatures that all get along as pals. Sure, there may have been a few incidents here and there where they may have fought, but even the closest of brothers do that occasionally. For the most part, blue, orange, green, and purple have been best buds since they were transformed from humans. But what if I told you there was one rainbow friend in particular that they always hated? Someone that was never loved or invited to their various parties. I know what you're thinking. It's probably Red, right? While it's true Red is hated by the Rainbow Friends now, he had plenty of opportunities to be accepted by the group. It's his own fault he chose to destroy and deceive at every possible turn. And even now, if he was to ask for forgiveness, they would probably forgive all the bad things he's done. No, this is the story of a rainbow friend no one knows or cares about. The rejected rainbow friend, Gray. To fully understand his sad tale,
Povestea asta eu aproape am plâns că era prea spărată.
we must go back to where it all began, back before he was the hideous ant-like monster he is today. Gary Grayson seemed like a very normal child growing up. He was polite to his parents and got good grades in school. He was very healthy for his age and loved to spend time outdoors. On top of that, he always had a fascination with animals. But unlike the other kids, who enjoyed learning about all sorts of large zoo creatures or ancient dinosaurs, Gary was only interested in one very specific region of the animal kingdom: bugs. His obsession started off small, with a simple butterfly fluttering through the air. But quickly he wanted to learn about every insectoid he could. Bees, centipedes, ladybugs. If it buzzed in the air or crawled on the ground, Gary had to know more about it. He would spend multiple hours a day after school looking for new specimen to study. When he found something, he'd collect them in jars, like a prized trophy. Proud of his discoveries, he would try to show off to the other children. They did not share Gary's enthusiasm for bugs, however. In fact, they all found them yucky and unpleasant to look at. Some of the meaner boys would take his bugs and squash them under their feet. They'd call him names like Gross Gary or Bug Boy and would shove him to the ground.
If you like insects so much, you should just stay down in the dirt with them. Yeah, they're your only real friends, Bug Boy.
In a strange way, however, without their bullying, he may not have discovered his most favorite insect of all, the mighty ant. They were everything Gary wished he was, both super strong for their size and constantly surrounded by friends and family. You see, while Gary's social life wasn't particularly good, his home life was actually worse. His parents fought all the time, screaming and yelling at each other at the top of their lungs.
You can't keep supporting Gary's weird obsession with bugs. It's creepy and weird, and all the kids hate him for it. I mean, he's a freak. We should take him to the Rainbow Friends play place like a normal boy.
He's not interested in that stuff, and I don't want our son to be friends with bullies anyways. If learning about insects makes him happy, we should let him.
Eventually, the two had to split up. The mom and dad just couldn't agree on anything, and he had to move out. And since his dad was in the army, he was gone for long periods of time. With his father out of the picture, Gary was forced to give up his bug collection. It was all he really ever cared about. Gary wasn't even allowed to talk about bugs. If he did, his mom would make him do all sorts of difficult chores.
If you want to talk about ants so much, then you must not mind working as hard as an ant.
Gary was miserable. But whenever his dad was back in Bloxburg, Gary got to stay at his house. Gary would look forward to it for months.
Remember, absolutely no mention of insects of any kind. You hear me?
No bug talk. Got it.
Luckily for Gary, his dad didn't care about what Mom thought. He just wanted to make his boy happy.
I got this for you, buddy. You can open it, but we gotta keep it here at my place. It'll be our little secret.
It was the best present Gary could have asked for, his very own ant farm. Every time he was able to visit his dad, he would examine it for hours. Unfortunately, Gary was only able to visit his dad when he wasn't off fighting in the war. At one time, he never returned. He was the only one that was ever truly nice to Gary. the only person supportive that didn't make him feel like a loser. To make matters even worse, it meant that his mom was finally able to find the ant farm, and she was furious.
I can't believe you, Gary! All these years, you've been lying to me? When will you get over this stupid bug stuff and just grow up? It's time to teach you a lesson once and for all.
The mom took the ant farm outside
Look
and
at
smashed it to
this.
smithereens. She poured gas on the rubble and lit it on fire. It broke Gary. He felt like he had no real family left. He was now all alone in this world. Eventually, though, the years passed, and he was finally old enough to move out. He decided, against the wishes of his mother, to pursue his passion of entomology. His good grades helped him get into one of the most prestigious colleges in all of Roblox. It was everything he could have ever dreamed of. There were bug species neatly organized all over the room, surrounded by magnifying glasses, microscopes, and other testing equipment. Gary could spend all day and night studying. Even better, he was finally around other people that shared his same love of insects. His first human friends. And that's all he needed to be happy for the first time in a long time. Sure, he didn't have much to his name, just a small dorm room and a new ant farm, just like the one his dad got him all those years ago, but that's all he wanted. Unfortunately, going to a fancy college was far from cheap, and Gary didn't have a job. He never really got much experience in high school, so he was desperate for anything that had decent pay. That's when he saw it, an ad for a job at the Rainbow Friends play place. Gary remembered his mother talking all about it as a kid. Surely it'd be a good spot to make some cash, so he called the number.
Hello? Is this the Rainbow Friends play place?
Why, yes. Yes, it is. Are you inquiring about the position that just became available?
Yeah. But the ad doesn't say what I'd be doing or how much I'd be making, and...
Well, why don't you give us a visit, and I'll go over all the details.
Suddenly, the line went dead, and Gary hung up. He was nervous. He leaned over to his ant farm and picked up some of his friends.
All right, guys. Wish me luck. I feel like I'm going to need it.
I'm sure you can imagine what happens next. Gary drove to the play place and found the place looking trashed and abandoned. He knew it seemed risky to enter, but he was just so desperate for money. He couldn't let his dream die, so he went inside. He walked through the various halls, searching for Red's office, or anyone really.
Hello? Is anyone there?
When suddenly, down the hallway, a light from one of the labs turns on. Gary cautiously stepped inside to find a strange contraption whirring to life.
What is this place?
Why, it's your new home.
Huh?
But what neither Red or Gary realized was that one of Gary's ants was still on him.
What? No. What have you become? Some kind of bug? No child would want to come pay money to see a disgusting creature like you. Get out of my sight.
Gray wanted to run away, to return to his studies, but he knew that Red was right. If no one liked him when he was younger, they certainly weren't going to accept him now. His only hope to fit in was with the other Rainbow Friends, blue, orange, green, and purple, but even they were disgusted by him. They laughed at his lack of colors, at his insect-like appearance. They called him names and wouldn't even invite him to their parties.
Sorry, pal, but Gray isn't a part of any rainbow I'm aware of. Get lost, you bug-eyed freak! Crawl back to whatever hole in the ground you came from. Yeah.
And so he did. Maybe one day the others will accept Gray for who he is. They'll see that they've now become the bullies that used to pick on all of them. But until then, Gray will hide away in his tiny bunker, hidden away from everyone else as the rejected Rainbow Friend.
Asta e primul story, vă arăt și doilea. Am pus a doilea care când mergeam la școală l-am văzut.
Come on, Green, keep up. Red, why is this happening? Another one of your crazy experiments? This isn't my fault this time. Yeah, likely. Green!
Ia Clara.
Taste the rainbow.
Tipul de rainbow.
This isn't so bad. Yes. This actually feels good. Taste the rainbow, Red. Never. There's still time to fix this. I know it. Orange, glad to see you're safe.
These rainbow creatures are everywhere. They already got pink and yellow. I don't know how much more of this we can take.
Come with me. We'll get to my lab and work our way to fix all of this.
Lead the way.
What the? Nice try, but you can't escape the rainbow. Orange, no. Let him go.
Give me my color back. No! 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 Pretty tasty. Red, you gotta try this.
I should have known you couldn't help but gorge yourself. Very well. I will solve this alone. First green, and now orange. This rainbow monster was going to destroy the rainbow friends one by one if I didn't find a way to stop it. Thankfully, Hope arrived with the appearance of Purple.
Red, down here.
Purple, you're alive.
That's right. Once the others started going nuts, I took to my vents quickly. You gotta get to your lab, right? To make this all go away?
That's the plan.
No problemo. It's this way. Follow me. Here we are. Hey, what the?
Purple, give me your cover.
Perché vedeți că perché era nasului de la albin.
Prepare the feast. The beast had me cornered, but I wasn't about to go down without a fight. Are you ready to accept your fate? No, I won't let you turn me into one of your mindless monsters. You don't have a choice. Take this. Red, you saved me! Blue, you're the rainbow monster? That's right, but thanks to you, I'm myself again. Blue, listen to me very carefully. All of the rainbow friends are still very much in danger. Why don't you tell me what happened, so I can better think of a way to save them? We don't have much time. Well, okay then. It's all my fault, Red. Let me start at the beginning. The other day, when I was doing my daily routine of patrolling, looking for humans to hunt, I passed by all the others. The rainbow friends were in a really bad place. Everyone's just feeling so bummed out. Sure, becoming a rainbow friend has given them awesome powers, but there's a lot of limitations too. I'll start with myself first. I may be big and strong now, way more so than when I was a pathetic human. I also gained some cool new friends. I even get to spend more time with my sister. But there's a lot of drawbacks. I didn't want to mention it because of green and all, but this budding eye of mine, I can't see out of it. My depth perception is all out of whack. Not only that, but this perpetual slobber is really annoying. It's always dripping into my drinks. Disgusting. My body's so big and bulky that I'm always hitting my head on door frames. Not to mention the seats in the theater are super uncomfy. Yeah, being blue is hard. But it's nothing compared to the others, like Orange. I talked to him that day, and he had his own troubles.
I used to be big. I could eat and never get tired of eating. Nowadays, I can only eat on a set feeding schedule. Not to mention, I'm so small, I have to ask the other taller rainbow friends to reach things for me. I can't even be independent. Sure, I'm a cool dinosaur, and I should be thankful for that. But aren't dinos supposed to be big? I can't help but wonder if there's something that could have been done about this.
I wanted to learn more, so I headed to the vents.
What's that? You want to know what's got me down? Well, what doesn't? I'm forced to crawl around these vents like a filthy rat. I had enough of the slimy underbelly when I was a human. My whole existence is like a big joke.
I went to see Green, and his struggles were the most obvious of all. Where do I begin? Well, I'm blind, duh. But also, these short, stubby legs and long arms make my balance a nightmare. I feel like one of those wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men you see outside of car dealerships. It ain't easy being green, that's for sure. Everyone had their fair share of problems with being the specific color of rainbow friend that they were. But I thought to myself, if red made us into these things, maybe there's a way we could be made into something else. So I snuck into your lab while you were out having your morning tea, and from there, I got to work. I used the machine to combine my body with the essences of color you keep stored. First, I mixed with green's essence. I emerged from the machine as Cyan, a brand new rainbow friend. First thing I noticed was that my eye was fixed. I also had the long, stretchy arms of green, and I wasn't drooling anymore either. It was amazing. But I was still facing Green's balance issues, so I decided to take it a step further. I combined myself with the essence of purple. I became a beautiful violet rainbow friend. From here, I assumed the hunched posture of purple, thereby eliminating my top-heavy issue. Now I could travel in style. I decided to give the vents a whirl, and boy, I sure could move fast through them. I knew that this was the cure to all of my friends' problems. If I could just get the mixes right, we remain ourselves, just without the drawbacks. But I might have gone a little overboard. I combined myself with all of the colors of the rainbow at once. I had hoped this would morph me into some kind of super being. A small part of me believed it might even make me human again. Instead, I became the rainbow monster you encountered. I had all the colors within me, but that still wasn't enough. I needed everyone else's essence of color too. Only by draining it from them could I give them the gift of the rainbow. At least, this is what my head was telling me. The colors had completely taken over, and I was more beast than friend. You already know the rest. I took green, orange, and purple's colors already, and I nearly took yours too, until you saved me. Wait, how did you save me again? Let us in. Come on. You gotta taste the rainbow. It's a gift like none other.
The steam from the pipe blew. The water vapors were what returned you to normal. Of course, it's so simple.
Water was the cure all along? So, should we give the other rainbow friends a bath?
Exactly. Well, not exactly, but close enough. They'll be through that door in no time. Quick, help me set a fire.
What? Are you crazy?
Trust me.
Okay, if you say so.
Aha! We got you now. Huh? Not today.
No! It burns! It burns! Ah! It worked! Everyone's back to normal.
Următor. E povestea lui Pink, parcă era, dar... Ați văzut, parcă sunt două povești lui Pink, dar nu știu aici ce este. Aici scrie Pink's Sad Origin Story. Dacă vă uitați pe canalul meu, noi deja ne-am uitat la acest videoclip. Adică cu Pink, asta e a doilea.
Yuck! What is this place? Wait, what the heck is that? Red?
Save yourself, Blue. She's coming.
Who's coming?
Is that a new playmate I hear?
Pink așa că e sorele
I gotta get
Blue.
out of here!
Cum ați spus, Blue,
Blue, is that you? Where are you off to in such a hurry? Green, there's no time. Follow me before... What the? What is this junk?
You can't escape me.
I'm sorry, Green. Gotta keep moving, no matter what.
Supper time! Blue, watch where you're going.
No time to explain. Come with me if you want to live.
What the heck are you? Ah! I can't move. Blue!
First red, then green, and now orange. The rainbow friends are being wiped out one by one, which only leaves... Purple's gotta still be alive. He's always got an escape plan in mind. Wait.
Help me! Help me! Help!
Purple! Wait, what? Who could have done this?
Who else? Hello, Blue.
Pink? Sis, you're the one responsible for all this?
As if. I'm not some nobody. I'm your worst nightmare.
Ugh, gross.
I am not gross. Just hold still.
If you're not her, then just who the heck are you?
Fine. Since I'm about to eat you, I might.
Gross.
I am not gross. Just hold still.
If you're not her, then just who the heck are you?
Fine. Since I'm about to eat you, I might as well tell you my story.
Я не ради врата.
It's not a happy one.
This all started a long time ago. I was just your typical teenage girl in high school. My real name is Penny Pilkington. I was born with the gift of gab, meaning I like to talk a lot. Unfortunately, not everyone liked what I had to say. I only told the truth as I saw it, but some people said I needed to know when to keep my mouth shut.
Penny Big Mouth doesn't like my haircut, huh? Maybe we should give her a haircut of her own.
The girls were ruthlessly
Nu faceți asta în
They called me names
realitate.
like Big Mouth, Wingbag, and Shut Up Dork. Well, that last one wasn't a name, really. Just a lot of people said it to me when I tried giving them some helpful advice. But today, I had enough, and I defended
Videoclipurile astea cu Rainbow Friends trec 8 minute sau 9 minute.
myself the only way I could.
Oh, what the? Ugh, you disgusting freak! You're so gross.
I had confronted my bully head on and got them to flee. However, I saw everyone else looking at me like I was the one in the wrong. I was Penny, the nasty big mouth loser. Nobody wanted to hang out with me. I was a total social outcast. I tried talking to my parents about the situation, but they were always too busy with their jobs. They thought throwing money at the problem would fix it, so I was given gifts, distractions. But all I really wanted was friends. And more than that, to be listened to. My own parents couldn't even give me that. My father even said to me once, Penny, I love you, but you just talk too much. Granted, this was after I pointed out how his beard was turning gray, but it was. Was it my fault that I was honest? Was it a bad thing? I brought my woes to the principal of the school, but she really didn't like me pointing out the mole on her nose during the discussion. She told me I needed to apologize to the ones who bullied me. I did as I was asked. It was demeaning, and it wasn't right. I vowed then and there to never be silenced again. But if people in real life didn't want to hear what I had to say, then I would turn to someplace else. The internet. Around this time, I used my parents' wealth to buy some recording equipment, and I opened up an online video blog called Penny for Your Thoughts. It turns out, on the internet, if you talk and are reasonably attractive, a lot of people are willing to listen. All I had to do was comment on the world, celebrities, media, just anything that came to mind. I even got a blue check mark next to my name. If that isn't validation, I don't know what is. Soon enough, I got quite a following. Even some of the people who made fun of me in school started to reach out years later and apologize. Of course, in keeping with my brand, I called them out for their past bullying publicly and ruined their reputation. It was amazing. I was invited to conventions, to conferences. I even spoke to the UN. People were actually listening to me. Unfortunately, seemed the wrong person took notice. It all started small. People would stop following me here and there. A call-out video would spring up. Regardless, it seems like overnight, my brand was tarnished. No one wanted to listen to me anymore. The world had moved on from my brand of sensationalism, and I was once again a total nobody. A has-been. That's when he reached out to me. A man claimed to be representing a prestigious group of influencer investors, and they wanted to put me on top again.
He told me to meet him here at the Rainbow Friends play place. For some reason, the alarm bells never went off in my head. I just wanted my fame back, no matter the cost. When I arrived, I was immediately put off by the situation. Why was I asked to meet him here? It looked like some kid's amusement park, if you could even call it that. I told the man as much when I arrived, and he gritted his teeth and smiled. I didn't think he liked me insulting his rainbow friends. Nevertheless, he gave me the tour and said I would be working out of his streamer lab, which sounded cool enough, so I followed him. When we reached the lab, the man said that there had, quote, been a change of plans. My fight or flight response kicked in, and I spit in his face. He didn't take kindly to that. I started shouting at him. Do you have any idea who I am? Who you are is gone. You're about to become something else entirely. What happened next is almost too painful to recall. My mouth, which wasn't actually that big before, despite the nickname, began to stretch and expand. My skin was turning pink. My eyes were stretching out of their sockets. I was a freak. A monster! Apparently, the man had already transformed others into monsters like me, but they were far more subservient. Well, I wasn't about to be controlled. I lunged at him. I even managed to get a good fight in. But he was planning for this. He scurried away and filled the room with knockout gas. Before I knew it, I passed out, and then awoke in a chamber deep beneath the facility. The man came to visit me and told me I was too unruly and annoying, that I talked too much. He said that he couldn't let a good color like pink go to waste, so he just tried again with someone else. After he left, I slumped down in my cell, tears in my eyes. Was this to be my fate? Locked away for all eternity? No, I may be a monster, but I was also a somebody. I knew that someday I would bust out of there. I just had to bide my time. And, as luck would have it, I got my chance when that other creature I heard managed to break free. During its rampage, my own cage's electronic locks were damaged and I escaped. And the rest is history. And now I'm hunting down the man and the rest of you awful goons that serve him so willingly.
Pink, I'm sorry for what happened to you, but you have to understand, none of us want to be here. Your story's not too far off from my own.
Wait, you used to be human too?
Yeah, we all did.
Then, where's the man who turned us into monsters? Let's find him and make him pay!
Pink, you already did.
What?
There, that settles that. Now let me help you down, friend. Red? Yes? What is it, Blue? It's nothing.
Următorul și ultimul care m-am mutat asta și mi-a părut că e 10, dar de fapt e 8. Și oricum e.
What the heck is going on in this place? The colors have gone haywire.
Come back here, Purple. I have a surprise for you.
I don't need any more surprises from this place, Blue. Not even from you. Just gotta keep moving. I'll get to the bottom of this or die trying. Let go of me, Red. Wait, Red?
Guess again.
Blue? Is that you? What happened?
I had an extreme makeover!
Are you the one responsible for this place's colors getting all mixed up?
In a way, but none of that matters. Your colors are gonna change too. I'm so excited to see whose color you get, but you'll just have to wait and see.
I don't want to be a different color. I like being purple, being me.
Too bad. You don't have a choice. None of us do. Not anymore. Allow me to explain just how the Rainbow Friends colors became swapped. It all started just yesterday. Red was, as usual, testing out his latest scheme to turn human again. I stood by and watched even as the ground shook and the earth quaked. I yelled for him to stop, that we should think about the consequences of our actions before moving onwards. Red ignored my shouts, and the experiment continued. His lab started to tear apart, as its walls and floors and everything within distorted and shifted colors. It was like being in a kaleidoscope. Under any other circumstances, I would have called it beautiful. All of these changes erupted from one singular point, one nexus. And from that nexus, a wave of energy blasted out. Red was the first to change. From the epicenter of the blast, the waveform sprung out. As it passed over Red's body, his colors began to shift uncontrollably. For a rainbow friend, you can imagine how traumatic this was for him. I could only watch in horror as he reached his arms out at me in a desperate attempt towards freedom. But I too was quickly swept under the influence of the wave. It was unimaginably painful. Losing my color, gaining it back, going through every spectrum of the rainbow along the way. It was like I was losing my identity, the very core of my being. The wave permeated the entire facility, covering every inch, except, I suppose, deep down below in the sewers, which explains why you escaped its effects. When the earth again stood still and the dust settled, I stood up and examined myself for injuries. But when I did, what I saw, I couldn't believe. Gone was my deep blue color that I had come to love, replaced by the striking and brilliant red. And not only that, but I could tell that my brain had become wired differently. Suddenly, I wanted nothing more than to run experiments, to make the Rainbow Friends a huge success, and of course, to become human again. My mind raced and raced about which color of the rainbow I should attempt to make a friend for next. I only stopped myself when I saw Red stand up, holding his head. Only Red wasn't red. He had become my original beautiful shade of blue. Which I understand is an insult to my former self, of course, but I've evolved past it. I felt sorry for Red and all the other Rainbow Friends, because I knew myself in that moment to be far superior, with the rest of you being nothing more than brutes. I recognized that I could use my friends as pawns to get the play place back in business. I turned on our open for business sign, and I laughed into the night as my plans were set in motion. Red quickly fell in line, having no choice if he wanted to be human again. Meanwhile, on the other side of the facility, Green and Orange were in another one of their classic spats. Orange was zipping around Green, who couldn't land a hit on the speedy dino due to being blind. Orange laughed at his ill-sighted friend when the wave walked over them too. Orange's colors were the first to change. He became pink, then blue, then red, before finally settling on green. As he recovered from his painful ordeal, he realized that he could no longer see. He outstretched his arms and tried to make his way around, but found himself stumbling over everything around him. Green, on the other hand, had just undergone a transformation that he was entirely grateful for. He examined his new orange body with his now working set of eyes. He could see again. He was ecstatic. But that's not all. He was also hungry. Green used his newfound sight to glance at the security monitors and saw that guests had seen that they were open again. They were funneling in, and all Green saw then was a feast. Orange, for his part, knew the hunger all too well, and so tried to stop his friend from going down that self-destructive path. Unfortunately, without his sight, Orange felt helpless, a feeling that was only made worse as he bumped into a nearby wall and knocked himself out. A group of guests made their way through the halls of the play place, wondering to themselves where the employees were when Green found them. At first, they were excited to see him, a brand new take on the classic Rainbow Friend design. But their smiles quickly turned to frowns, their laughter turning to cries as Green set upon them. He was vicious and out for blood. To stop his tirade, I sent my right-hand man, my enforcer, Red. Caught between the two monsters, the guests fled, and Green was outraged. He tackled Red, and the two engaged in a Rainbow Friends fight the likes of which this play place has never seen. Red had my strength, but Green now had Orange's vicious temper, as well as his sight. It was a close battle, but Green eventually came out on top. As Green stood victorious, a bumbling Orange tripped over Red and knocked Green out by accident. Red awoke, and the two of them dragged Green to the lab to contain him. I helped the two to restrain Green, who at this point was absolutely freaking out, shouting about how hungry he was. Despite this, I was able to re-engage my plans, and soon, the play place was once again full of happy guests. It was like back when it first opened. With money flowing in, surely I'd be able to use the funds to research new developments and make us all human again. Unfortunately, Green was not on board. From the lab, he mustered the strength to break free from his restraints. Enraged and unruly, he began to completely trash the lab. As a result of his destruction, once more the nexus point from the previous experiment sprung to life, and the color wave returned. The wave shot out through the facility, and once again us Rainbow friends felt its effects. But we weren't the only ones. The guests too were changing colors, convulsing on the ground in pain. As for us, we became feral, as Green had, and started chasing after the mutating guests, sending them running for their lives. I still don't know exactly what became of them. I wonder if their families accepted them back in. Regardless, us Rainbow friends soon passed out. When the event was over, I alone woke up and glanced at my friends. I retained the color of red, and with it, his drive, his cunning. And so, I got to work once more. I contained the remaining friends, their colors now twisted and shifting to no end. We're all now locked up in my lab. That's right, Blue's lab. I'm the new Red, and I'm in charge now. I've got them all. My rainbow friends. All of them except for you.
Now, Blue, be reasonable. Can't you just let me go? Sounds like Red's not even in control anymore. You don't have to follow in his footsteps.
You're right. I don't have to. I want to.
You're just as much of a monster as he is. All right, then. Do your worst.
With pleasure. What the? Another wave? Why? No! No!
Ha! Take that!
No! Phew! Me again. That was a close one. Sorry about that, Purple. Purple?
Purple's not here right now.
Asta a fost tot de videoclipul. Sper să vă placă și pa!